So this past year, we've seen a lot of stuff happening in the real estate market. In fact, it's been one of the toughest real estate markets in the past decade. I mean, home sales have hit their lowest point since 2010. The presidential election is really leaving a lot of people uncertain. And of course, I will give you my speculation on what's going to happen to the real estate industry, particularly for real estate agents and people that are trying to do real estate recruiting. I mean, buyer demand has obviously plummeted. We got inventory remaining tight. Although I'm seeing now, just after, Trump has been elected, again, this video is not a politically, sided video. It's just a very neutral observation. The markets are starting to pick up. Listings are starting to go ahead and get listed again. But, we've just seen a lot of changes happening. And if you stay to the end of the video, I will share with you what I think is going to happen to the real estate agent, particularly. What is going to happen to the brokerage model? How is everything going to shift in the entire industry? Folks, you are in for a treat because this is a little bit of a different standpoint. When you see videos like this about the real estate election on YouTube, people really come into these videos thinking that, it's going to be something that is going to benefit, buyers, sellers, agents, or production volume. But let's take a step back and look at it from a bird's eye view. There is so much more when it comes to the real estate business other than just sales, right? There's like the attraction industry, the recruiting industry, there's the M&A industry, there's the cloud-based brokerages. Like, there's a lot of different things that happen, and I want to give you an educated answer on what I think is going to take place. So I'm going to really answer a couple of questions. I mean, one of the questions I'm going to answer is what happens next for most real estate agents? And during this post-election era, especially going into 2025, what are most real estate agents going to see, and how is this going to go ahead and have a massive resurgence in real estate? And more importantly, how can you as a real estate agent turn this into your biggest opportunity for cash flow generation and wealth generation yet? So let me start off with one thing. The election year really meets the housing market shift. So of course, elections like pretty much the biggest event in the world when it happens. And to start, let's just talk about why the election hit this real estate market so hard. One word comes to mind: uncertainty. So buyers and sellers all over were hesitating to make big financial decisions, policies, taxes, economic plans. They were all due for change, especially during this pre-election era, right? In 2024, especially, this uncertainty was hitting everyone really, really hard. It was skyrocketing, it was compounding in many, many different areas. Interest rates were hovering about 7%. Sideline, just countless buyers are sitting on the sides, just waiting until this perfect time. And then, I was also reading a story in a report from Redfin at 23% of first-time home buyers are holding off until the election. Now, of course, the time this video and the time that you were watching it, the elections already happened. But here's the thing though, typically, when things get interesting is that housing markets do rebound after elections. We've seen that. 9 out of the last 11 elections in the United States saw home sales increase the following year. So of course, it's quite common sense that there is going to be a lot of cash being injected into the real estate economy. In 2025 as well, we're pretty much set for the exact same thing to happen, right? Interest rates are predicted to drop around 6%. Inventory is going to rise, and the demand that's been sort of pent up and held back is going to go ahead and start to flood the market. So I'm going to take a shift here, a wild shift, because you were probably thinking that I'm going to continue on how a real estate agent can really benefit off the production side of things. I'm going to take a little bit of a different pivot now. And here's the thing. It's not just buyers and sellers that are shifting in the market. Agents are also moving as well. In the past year, 144,000 real estate agents switched brokerages. Why is that happening? There's a big, resurgence of revenue share models entering the real estate industry, right? The industry is undergoing a massive transformation, and, innovation comes every few years. Right now, companies like eXp Realty and Real are obviously leading the charge. And this revenue share movement is obviously not just, spearheaded by these two companies. A lot of companies are following suit and implementing their own revenue share programs as well. Back in the day, Keller Williams had the profit share initiative, and that was obviously like an industry mover. Then it came revenue share, and what I see in the coming years is just it's gonna get better and better and better. But typically when it gets better and better and better, more competitors now enter the market and competition starts to erode profits, which leads to one thing: only the fittest will survive. So on my screen here, I have some numbers and I'm just gonna read them out loud. So eXp Realty has paid out hundreds of millions of dollars. And in 2022, which is about 2 years ago, they did pay out $202 million. It was a 20% increase. So that's a big jump, right? A 20% increase for a company at that size is like huge. It might seem like a small number, but we're talking about companies that are worth billions of dollars. Real Brokerage, which is a very smart innovator and they're just doing a lot of good things. They saw an 86% increase in revenue share payouts in 2023. And in the first quarter of 2024 alone, Real Brokerage paid $9.1 million. And, it's like nearly doubling their payouts from the previous year. I was also reading on a report as well, like other brokerages that are now starting to enter in as players, like Epic Realty. I think they paid out like $800,000 or $900,000 in just the past month or two, or in terms of revenue shares. So we can see that it's not a trend, it's a movement. And agents right now are realizing that, beyond just selling homes, the real estate wealth lies in so many other vehicles in the real estate industry. I think that modern day real estate agent is not just going to only rely upon production to go ahead and achieve their dreams. They're going to have a series of, other vehicles within the real estate business, because the keyword here is business, that's going to allow them to flourish. I mean, one of the best vehicles right now that I see is just simply attracting and recruiting agents into a downline or a revenue share network. Now, here's the thing that gets a little bit of a bad rap, and that's because people have done it wrong. They're not actually attracting, they're just recruiting, and they're just recruiting anyone with a pulse. They're not trying to help people. The people in the industry that make the most amount of money, especially when it comes to attraction and revenue share, are the people that have the most amount of value and that help the most amount of agents. The thing is that even in the real estate sales side as well, a lot of agents that typically just treat everyone just like, oh, I'll just help anyone with a pulse, and they just want to play the numbers game. Typically those people are the ones that end up getting a bad rap, where people that actually value relationships over revenue and genuinely garner that, they typically do well. And this is like a universal rule across business. But if I was an agent and I was seeing this market shift, I would want to align myself with this trend. Even right now, for example, a lot of boomers are starting to sell their businesses, and a lot of people can also capture that trend. And in the history of United States of America and Canada as well, but in the world in general, the most amount of wealth has been made by people hopping on trends. In fact, I was reading a book by a guy named Brad Jacobs. It's called How to Make a Few $Billion. And one of the first chapters is really emphasizing the importance of getting the trend right. Right now, we have a trend in front of our eyes, and if we do not hop on this trend, we are going to be the ones that are going to suffer big time. I mean, there's a lot of agents I know that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Yes, a month, doing revenue share correctly. And right now there's like an intersection, a point that's really happening where there's a market recovery period, like a refractory period, and also like an opportunity for agents to win big. So let's zoom out, like post-election era, we know that the real estate market is going to start bouncing back. It's, been, there's been a lot of studies on it. There's been a lot of, experts giving their own, reasoning behind this. I mean, a lot of experts predict that over 5 million homes will be sold in 2025. And it's going to be up from, the 3.9 million that we're pacing in 2024 in this year. And inventory is expected to rise, mortgage rates will drop, and then buyer activity will surge. So for agents, and especially you watch this right now as a real estate agent, at a revenue share brokerage, maybe even a prospective real estate agent that wants to make some money on this trend, a rebound in traditional commissions from increased transactions will be happening. That's going to allow a lot more agents to have spending power. It's going to allow a lot more buyers as well to come in. But, commission wise, a lot of real estate agents are going to have a very healthy 2025 in terms of making money. That scarcity mindset can now be thrown in the garbage. The second thing though is it's a golden opportunity for agent attractors out there as the revenue share pool just grows with the market. As the real estate market grows, just as a byproduct of the real estate market grows, the revenue share pool also grows, and also agent attraction also grows as a count in general, right? Like count of agents joining revenue share brokerage is going to grow. Also, the way that I will share with you at the end of the video in terms of attracting agents is also going to really align with this perfectly, because the way I teach to attract agents to a revenue share network or any brokerage for that matter is to get paid to attract. I'm always for winning on economics, and this is the best way to win on economics. I'll share that with you guys at the end. So of course with this though, right, like a lot of companies see this and a lot of companies are ambitious. There are also other companies now that see this is a great opportunity, like Epic Realty's entered to play, LPT Realty. I'm hearing a lot more companies that are emerging. There's a company called Simply Home. There's a company called Kick Realty, KIC Realty, Fathom Realty. I just heard that they implement a revenue share program. A lot of independent brokerages are now also implementing revenue share programs to compete with these big players. But there's going to be really one problem. The competition is going to erode profits. And that's a quote from Peter Thiel himself from the PayPal Mafia. And the people that really know what they're going to do in terms of agent attraction are going to be the ones that are going to win big time. I mean, let's just take eXp Realty 2.0, right? So eXp Realty, they reduced the FLQA requirements to unlock deeper tiers. And it just makes it easier for agents to qualify for revenue share. They also introduced the Pay Now Now feature, which gives agents 50% of the revenue share pool payout in the first year. Real Brokerage has also enhanced their model, unlocking tier 2, which is 5 producing agents. That means there's going to be bigger payouts for attractors and even more incentive to build teams. I mean, EXP and Real are some of the 2 bigger players, but there are other companies as well. Epic, I think, has like no FLQAs. It's just 5 levels completely. And there's a lot of different things that are taking place. Some companies giving 100% revenue share. There's so many different offers. And what's going to happen, and me as a marketer, I always try to like look at this and see when offers get more and more competitive, people just start pushing the limits of them, right? These brokerages will try to push the limit on who can have the best offer, because in marketing, the person with the best offer wins, right? They get a lot of the market share. But what's going to happen when a lot of markets have the similar offers, right? I mean, if you think about it, Real Brokerage and EXP, they're always competing with each other on offers. But the thing is, at a certain point, you don't want to have your offer be detrimental to the company culture as well. And that's where, you have to now align with a little bit of a different strategy that's going to allow you to win. And, if you look at Naval Ravikant, he talks about this as well. By having a brand is going to be very, very important, but also having leverage of people, having leverage of content, having leverage of technology will also allow you to become a monopoly in this marketplace. A monopoly from a company standpoint, but also because every agent within the company is almost like their own company and they all split and they all own the company technically, they're also going to have to position themselves uniquely. And I will talk about that. And this is where my next point comes in, which is where you have to leverage a unique strategy to win in agent attraction. Folks, if you're watching this video right now, you probably know that agent attraction is an exciting place to be in, but it is also a difficult place to compete and win at. Our team literally speaks to hundreds of agent attractors every single week. Yes, hundreds, right? And one of the things that we realize is a lot of people at these revenue share brokerages are coming across issues such as I'm cold calling agents and it's getting really, really hard to convince them to join my revenue share brokerage. And it's going to start to get to a point where, everyone starts to sound like a telemarketer as someone selling, insurance MLM. And it's going to start to get a bad rap for the industry. And this is where reform is needed. This is also where the innovators are going to win big time. It's not a coincidence that there's a lot of competition emerging in the market every single day. But the real question is, how do you stand out and attract the right agents and also get the agents that are joining your downline to also produce and then grow their downlines further to have a real compounding effect so you can win? And the answer lies in providing value upfront through a paid digital product. So selling a course or a training program online, it allows you to position yourself as a person of authority. It also generates revenue before any agents even join your revenue share network or your team or anything. So that's another real good benefit, because one of my clients, Sammy, sent an interview with me. He's like, imagine getting paid upfront by an agent where they literally learn from you. They view you as the expert. And when you ask them to be joining your team, they're literally just doing everything they're already doing. And they're just now joining your team. And now you get an even better split. This is the future of the real estate industry for the smart people, if they actually understand. Because the smart people, they compete on economics. This is the only way to win in business. I mean, Dan Kennedy said this as well, where the person who can, pay the most to acquire a customer wins. And right now, the way to have the economics working in your favor is to get paid to attract. And this is a little bit controversial because a lot of people are like, I didn't join real estate to do this. But this is the thing, right? As industries shift and emerge and innovate, as I've already talked about in this video, you also must innovate and shift, right? This is how you're going to win. If you even want to win, that is. On top of selling a digital product, you actually will get the right agents that are serious and motivated. One of the problems I see with a lot of agent attractors is they just recruit and attract anyone with the pulse. And what that does is it ruins your culture. It also goes ahead and, gets people in your downline that aren't producing, so you're not getting paid. And it's just a net negative in general, right? And you want to bring the right people in, because technically a revenue share network is still your own company, right? These are all people that are viewing you as the expert, right? And you want to make sure that you have that part locked down. And one of the things that we really focus on at our company, agentattraction.io, and our attraction on demand system is helping agents create a high value digital product that actually allows you to build your downline, but also generate an upwards of 6 figures or multiple 6 figures a month online. Yes, these numbers are like really, really crazy. And when I see, a lot of people speculating, I urge them to do some research, but this is the best way to win. It's a win-win. So in 2025, what I see will happen is this. So in 2025, here's what I think will happen. A lot of agents will start producing more, and a lot of agents also from a production standpoint should be educating their clients as to the market recovery and why right now is the best time to buy or sell. You can now leverage this momentum and the cash flow injection of the real estate industry to obviously, stack up some cash. I would recommend not, spending and splurging it, being a little bit patient with your money, because of course we're coming through a time period in the real estate industry, in the market in general, that was a little bit tough on everyone, but this also allows you to maximize your income in real estate through like stuff like revenue share and agent attraction. Now, let me just really paint this picture for you. In every single industry, there's a hierarchy. The people that are the top of the hierarchy win. In the real estate industry is usually the tech CEOs, right? Now, obviously, not everyone's going to be a tech CEO, but there's obviously still a lot of money to be made, like a 1 or 2 levels down. In the accounting industry, the CFOs typically make some of the most biggest dollars, right? They usually have similar skill sets to a regular accountant, but they're now above and they're managing people. So what we can learn and what we can apply from like Naval Ravikant, who's like a billionaire investor, is we need to apply leverage. And think about this way: you got the regular real estate agent, you got the team leader, and you got like the person that's an agent attractor. You also got the independent brokerage owner, but independent brokerages, not all of them are really doing that well, right? We talk to like dozens of recruiters at independent brokers every single week, and they're all struggling. But the ones that are doing well, kudos to you, hats off to you. You guys are crushing it. But the people that are struggling, like here's the thing. In the real estate industry, right, the person that has the most influence over how much volume they produce in their organization is going to be winning. Now, here's the thing. If you look at what Alex Hormozi says, the people that have a compounding asset inside of the organization are going to be the ones that win big time, right? So a lot of real estate agents don't really have more than one compounding asset other than referrals. And, not a lot of agents get a lot of referrals anyways, but even if they do, it'll take a long time to get there. But referrals can happen in the sense of like referring you transactions, but it can also happen in the sense of downline growth. So an agent that has like a downline, they're going to have some of the biggest influential network sizes over the entire real estate industry. So if I'm like a person in the real estate industry, right, if I have a downline of like thousands of agents, right, I will be pretty much impacting hundreds and hundreds or even thousands of homes that are transacted, and the money will trickle upwards, right? They always say in business, right, you'd rather have like 10% of a $100 million company as opposed to 100% of like a $1 million company. And the reason why is because the pool and the size of the pie is just bigger, and you want to go ahead and maximize the size of your pie. And one of the best ways to do that is to become an agent attractor in 2025. I'm not even with a revenue share brokerage, and I'm telling folks this. And the reason why I'm not with a revenue share brokerage is because our company is a service provider, and a lot of people ask me like, why aren't you at a revenue share brokerage? Because then it would be very unethical for me to be tied to a brokerage and helping other brokerages scale, right? If I was at like an eXp Realty or a real brokerage and I was helping other companies scale, it would be a little bit unethical. And that's why I remain neutral in this standpoint, right? I'm just someone that wants to help as many people as possible from my company standpoint. But right now, this is what I see in the real estate industry. The agent attraction is going to win big time, but the ones that do agent attraction right are going to be the ones that have been big. I mean, they're going to make the most amount of money they've ever made in years. Now, the ones that do well, like my clients that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and also recruiting dozens and dozens of agents into their downline, they're using a paid digital product. They're not only getting, money other than production income, but they're also making money from their laptop. They're able to travel the world. They're also growing their downline at the same time. They're now a real estate entrepreneur, not just an agent, they're an actual entrepreneur. And this is really where the industry is going to reward those people, right? Those people that understand this shift are going to be the ones that are going to win the most. And the best way to do this is to create a digital product that allows you to get paid to attract, also help a lot of agents grow your revenue share network. And for some people, they just want to sell digital products to maybe escape production. You're tired of it. You want to start referring out your deals to building a team, and you want to just help other agents. This is also another benefit. A digital product allows you to do so many different things. It's not just selling a course online. It's selling a course online to beat economically everyone else, but also allow yourself to travel the world and have time freedom, location freedom, and everything. But the real benefit here is the agent attraction, the compounding asset that allows you to scale. Because as I mentioned in this video, it's very, very difficult to attract agents in 2025. It's getting more and more competitive. We already have agents coming to our calls saying, I'm cold calling agents, and they all do not want to hear about this anymore because they've all been cold called by hundreds and hundreds of agents. So it's very important we actually apply a agent attraction strategy, not an agent chasing strategy, if we want to win. Folks, I want to end off this video with one remark, and it's about Tim Ferriss, right? He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. He said that winners find ways to leverage trends. In real estate, this is your trend to leverage. Housing markets recover, revenue share payouts grow, and agents are looking for leaders that want to guide them to the shift. One of my mentors told me way back today, a lot of people are silently willing or asking to be led, right? And you can go ahead and step up as that leader. Now, if you want to learn more about how we can help you scale your agent attraction network, attract more agents, recruit more agents, whether it is into your downline, but we also help some independent brokerages where their model aligns with what we offer, go ahead and click the link somewhere below this video, apply. And if you guys want more videos like this on the real estate market and agent attraction and recruiting and what I think is going to happen in the next coming months, I'll be sharing a lot more videos just like this. Subscribe down below, and we'll see you guys in the next one.